My name is Abigail Perez and I will be presenting my vascular model. So majority of the materials I used for my project came from my house. The organs I actually cut out from old t-shirts and I just hot glue on the sides, and the stuffing is actually from an old pillow. The vessels, they're out of pipe cleaners. The base is a wooden pallet, and the aorta and IVC are two wooden rods, and I just went ahead and painted them. So I'm going to start off with the function of each organ. We'll start off with the liver. The liver is the largest internal organ in the body, and it has over 500 functions. Some include the formation and secretion of bile, which is formed by the breakdown of hemoglobin. It also plays a crucial role in carbohydrate, protein, and fat metabolism. The gallbladder is part of the biliary system. It lies under the visceral surface of the liver, and it stores and concentrates bile until it is needed, and also regulates biliary pressure. The pancreas is a retroperitoneal organ, and it has both endocrine and exocrine functions. The endocrine functions are hormone production, and those regulate blood sugar levels. The hormones produced by the pancreas are insulin, glucagon, and somatostatin. The endocrine or the exocrine functions are enzyme secretion. Those enzymes are amylase, lipase, trypsinogen, and chymotrypsinogen, and those aid in the breakdown and digestion of food. The spleen is a highly vascular organ, and it contains the greatest amount of lymphoid tissue. Its function is to produce, filter, reserve, and defend blood products. It contains both white and red pulp. The white pulp aids in adaptive immunity, and the red in filtration. The two kidneys, right and left, are part of the urinary system. The right is slightly lower than the left because of the location of the liver. Its function is to filter blood and remove waste products. It also regulates the amount of electrolytes in the body. So the stomach, duodenum, and colon are all part of the gastrointestinal tract, and the gastrointestinal tract functions to break down food components into smaller components for nutrient absorption and elimination of wastes. So the stomach, its function is to store and partially digest food, both through mechanical and chemical processes. The duodenum continues the digestive process by mixing the partially digested food with pancreatic juices and bile. The colon eliminates excess nutrients and electrolytes, and the remnants travel through the duodenum until it reaches the rectum and is eliminated through the body, through the anus, as solid waste. So now I will be explaining the vessels. I'll start off with the aorta. The aorta originates from the left ventricle. The first major branch off of the aorta is the celiac axis. The celiac axis branches into hepatic artery, splenic artery, and left gastric artery. The hepatic artery branches off at a 90-degree angle and follows a superior and anterior course into the liver hilum and porta hepatis. Once in the liver, it divides into right and left branches, supplying blood to each respective lobe. So the left gastric artery has a superior and anterior course to the left of the abdomen, supplying the stomach and esophagus with blood. The splenic artery follows a horizontal course along the border of the body of the pancreas and tail of the pancreas, entering the splenic hilum. It supplies spleen, pancreas, and stomach with blood. The second major branch off of the aorta is the superior mesenteric artery. It branches off anteriorly and follows an inferior course posterior to the pancreatic body, but anterior to the unsnit process. And it courses inferiorly and has several branches that give blood to the small and large intestines. The renal arteries have a posterolateral course. The right renal artery, it has a longer course than the left because of the location of the aorta in the body. They both give blood to each respective kidney hilum. The common iliac arteries are the bifurcation of the aorta at the level of the umbilicus, and they divide into several arteries supplying the lower extremities with blood. Like I said, the aorta originates from the left ventricle and follows an inferior course, while the IVC, on the other hand, starts from the junction of the common iliac veins and follows a superior course and terminates in the right atrium. It drains blood from the lower extremities, pelvis, and abdomen into the right atrium. So some of the branches off of the IVC are the renal veins. The right renal vein has a shorter course than the left renal vein. The renal vein has to cross the abdomen, and it's anterior to the aorta, but posterior to the SMA, and that is known as the nutcracker phenomenon. So like the renal veins, the hepatic veins drain directly into the IVC. There's 3 of them: the right, the middle, and the left hepatic vein, and they drain blood from the posterior aspect of the liver into the IVC. The portal venous system has a completely different drainage system than the IVC. It's completely separate. The portal confluence is the junction of the superior mesenteric vein and the splenic vein to form the main portal vein. The splenic vein exits the splenic hilum and borders the posterior aspect of the tail and body of the pancreas. And before the portal confluence, it increases in diameter. The superior mesenteric vein drains blood from the midgut into the portal venous system and joins the splenic vein to form the main portal vein. The main portal vein follows an anterior course into the splenic hilum, into the liver hilum, and porta hepatis. Once in the liver, it divides into right and left branches, and like I said, the IVC drains into the right atrium, while the portal venous system drains into the liver. By working on this project, I am now able to better visualize where each vessel originates and where it leads to. And even though this project was time consuming, I had a lot of fun putting it together and learning along the way and seeing the finished product. That concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.